Welcome to New Hope Prairie. Population 847. Well, 846 if you don't count Mrs. Henderson's cat, who thinks he's people. It's the kind of place where your biggest worry should be whether the church potluck will have enough green bean casserole. But what happens when the most dangerous thing in town isn't the wild boar that keeps eating everyone's tomatoes, but just a single Facebook post? Buckle up, folks. We're about to watch a community learn the hard way that not everything that goes viral should. Meet Eli Tanner. He's owner of Doc's Constitutional and Professional Skeptic. Eli doesn't trust anything invented after 1987, which is why his cash register still sounds like a dying accordion. Eli's morning routine is sacred. Coffee black as his mood. Newspaper older than his customers' complaints. And exactly 17 minutes of glaring at his smartphone like it personally insulted his mother. But this particular Tuesday, his peaceful morning was about to be shattered by the unstoppable force of nature known as Clara Mae Winters. Clara Mae taught third grade for 37 years, which means she has the supernatural ability to detect nonsense from 3 counties away. Ironically, this skill does not extend to the internet. Eli, you have to see this. The government is using AI-powered spy drones to monitor our breakfast cereal choices. It's at this point Eli begins questioning every one of his life choices leading up to this exact moment. Now, a reasonable person might ask for evidence, but Clara Mae had something far more convincing than evidence. She had a video with exclamation points. Multiple exclamation points. And everyone knows that the number of exclamation points is directly proportional to truthfulness. Because of that's just how the internet works. Clara, that video is blurrier than a Bigfoot video shot by the Loch Ness Monster. Are you sure that's not just Johnson's crop duster? The Clara Mae was already 3 Facebook shares and 6 text messages ahead of him. And like a digital wildfire fed by a perfect storm of boredom and Wi-Fi, the rumor began to spread. First to receive Clara Mae's message was Margaret Thompson, who immediately called her sister in Kansas to warn her about the breakfast surveillance program, which now included bacon and homemade preserves. Margaret's sister called her neighbor, who called her book club, who called their hairdresser, who posted it to 17 different Facebook groups, including Quilters Against Tyranny and Concerned Citizens for Casseroles and Chicken Feathers for Freedom. By noon, the story had evolved. The drones weren't just watching breakfast cereal. They were also monitoring church attendance, counting garden vegetables, and apparently conducting personality assessments based on lawn mowing patterns. At the town's only coffee shop, Jake Ruiz, the local tech expert and professional millennial, laptop open, earbuds in, was blissfully unaware and completely oblivious of the digital apocalypse brewing around him. This was mostly because oblivious is bliss was his life's motto, and he was currently in the middle of his 3rd existential crisis this week. Meanwhile, Becky Summers was serving coffee to customers who kept asking if the foam art in their lattes was secret code messaging. Becky's customer service smile was reaching dangerous and disturbing levels of forced cheerfulness. By 2 p.m., the elementary school had received 17 calls from concerned parents asking if outdoor recess was wise, or if the children should be wearing protective hats. Pastor Amos Fletcher received a call asking if Sunday service could be moved indoors to avoid spiritual surveillance, because apparently government drones were now equipped with soul scanning technology. And that's when the town's newest resident, Maggie Chun, decided to investigate. Maggie moved to New Hope Prairie to escape the chaos of city life, and she was not expecting the chaos to follow her. Like Eli, Maggie was also beginning to question her life choices. By evening, Doc's Constitutional had transformed into mission control for Operation Sky Robot Takedown. The usual Tuesday night crowd of 7 had swelled to 23 people, all united by shared paranoia and Clara Mae's assurances that it was most certainly happening. Clara Mae, now the town's unofficial expert on government drone technology, despite the fact that her previous technical expertise was limited to programming her VCR, which she accomplished exactly once in 1994. That's when Maggie Chun walked in, carrying her tablet and wearing the expression of someone dialing 911 on the frat party next door at exactly 10:01 p.m. So, I heard we're having a drone situation. Mind if I take a look at this video? Maggie examined the video with a kind of professional skepticism that comes from years of debugging code and dealing with panicked clients who think their computer's been hacked when really it's just 17 browser tabs and a glitchy download open all at once. After exactly 93 seconds of analysis, Maggie timed everything because, billing. So then she makes an announcement that would either save the town or get her run out on a rail. Folks, I hate to be the bearer of reality check news, but these aren't government spy drones. According to the flight pattern data, this is Carl Johnson's crop duster, Logs say he was spraying for loose smut fungus on that morning. The silence that followed was the kind of silence usually reserved for church services and really awkward family dinners. Clara Mae looking at her phone, then at Maggie, then back at her phone, processing this information similar to Johnson's cow. Clara Mae, to her eternal credit, did what any reasonable person would do when confronted with evidence that contradicted her deeply held beliefs about breakfast cereal surveillance. She shifted blame and took full credit for saving the town. Say, look how prepared we are now. That's when Sonny Brooks, professional conflict resolver and part-time miracle worker, had an idea that would change New Hope Prairie forever. You know what? She says, what if we made this a regular thing? Okay, not the panic part. That part was exhausting, but what if we had a weekly time where we all fact-check stuff together? Like a truth table. And just like that, the New Hope Prairie Truth Table was born. Not because they were smarter than other communities, but because they were willing to be wrong together, which is sometimes the most courageous thing you can do. 1 week later, the Truth Table held its first official meeting. Clara Mae arrived with 3 rumors she wanted to investigate, including one about fluoride polluting the water supply, one that says birds aren't real, and another one about Mrs. Henderson's cat, Carl, colluding with foreign spies. Jake had discovered that his technical skills were actually useful for something other than debugging code, and explaining to his parents why their computer was running slow, which was always because they had 47 browser tabs open and hadn't restarted their computer since Clinton was in office. And he taught the group how to reverse image search on their phones, and that kept him pretty busy because apparently Ned also been saving up since the Clinton administration. Eli learned that being skeptical didn't mean he had to be cynical, and that sometimes the most patriotic thing you can do is verify information before sharing it. And Pastor Amos discovered that bearing false witness applied to social media sharing, which led to his most popular sermon in years, followed by a special study group on Monday evenings to sort out if sharing rebel canning recipes qualified as bearing false witness. The Truth Table became so popular that they had to start taking reservations. It turns out, people were hungry for a place where they could be wrong without being shamed, learn without being lectured, and laugh at themselves without being laughed at. Next week on Prairie Firewall, what happens when Jake's worst fears go viral? Your job, and maybe you, will be replaced by AI robots. Can the Truth Table separate clickbait from reality? Will New Hope Prairie survive its first encounter with technology they don't yet understand? Tune in to Prairie Firewall next time to find out. Until then, remember, just like horse manure and weeds, not everything that spreads fast should spread far. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, is that your newfangled vacuum cleaner tinkering with my tractor?